right, guys, we are back. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. It is so great to see that smiling face of yours. And yes, as you can see, we're not in our studio right now. Caleb, where are we?
At the forest.
What are we doing out here?
We are playing, and also we're trying to make campfire.
We're camping. All right, guys, this is the kind of the prequel trip to the Photography Trek and Adventures series. And so really the first time the Jeep, the turtleback trailer, and of course the Toro off-road hardshell tent all together, getting out and kind of getting used to all the new equipment in there. And at the same time, we're going to be getting to Photography Talk episode 36 here in a moment. But I wanted to share with you a little bit of what we've been doing here for the last few days. Yeah, buddy?
And also, tomorrow we're going to be home.
Yes, so we're heading back tomorrow. Just a 2-day or technically a 3-day outing, 2-night. And we're scooting back. And of course, this is where I will finish up the Photography Talk episode 36. Another thing that I've been working on out here, guys, is testing out this R5 and seeing how it performs with the various lenses. So far, I have to say, I'm actually pretty impressed. There's going to be a video coming up here that's going to be comparing it to the EOS R, which of course we're filming on right now, from a still photo standpoint. We're going to get to the video stuff later. I know a lot of you have been asking who are more interested in the photography aspect, the still standpoint. Then of course the big question, or the big answer rather, for many of you that have not jumped into the Canon ecosystem, is the EOS R5 or the R6, is it worth the investment, or does it just make sense to jump into with the EOS R and just utilize the R glass and wait for Canon to work out any sort of bugs that may or may not exist in the R and the R6? Again, frankly, I've been shooting predominantly just stills with it so far, and just kind of putting it through its paces from that standpoint. I can tell you guys, this thing is an absolute dream. Again, with the RF lenses on it, it's quite a treat to be using this camera right now. Coming from the Z7, which of course is a fantastic camera. When I went to the R, there was obviously a kind of a reduction in kind of performance from the Z7 to the R, but that was my commitment towards this camera coming out. And I can say it was, for me, what I used the camera for, it was a smart decision for me. It might not be the best decision for everybody else out there compared to what they might be utilizing the camera, but for me, I'm very happy with this camera. So, all right, my friends, let's get to Photography Talk episode 36. Here we go. And just like that, we are back here in the studio with a few interesting stories to discuss from this week. Now, before we go diving into these headlines, I do want to welcome you newcomers to the channel. Photography Talk is about all things photography, gear reviews, tutorials, recapping the news, and so forth. Now, if that interests you, I'd encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Plus, by subscribing, you'll be one step closer to being entered into our current giveaway, which includes some really awesome gear from our friends over at Peak Design. So, not only is subscribing a good idea for you staying up to speed with our current content, but at the end of the day, you could also win some really cool photography gear as well. Now, let's get to the biggest stories in photography from last week. Starting things off, Olympus drops a new camera and lens. A few days ago, Olympus announced their OMD EM100 Mark IV camera and the new 100-400mm, and that is a f5 to 6.3 IS lens as well. Now, besides having a really long-ass name that makes no sense at all, the OMD EM10 Mark IV has a 20.3 megapixel micro four thirds sensor. It has 5-axis image stabilization, a 2.36 million OLED EVF, and it has a flip down LCD screen. Now guys, this is capable of recording 4K video at 30p and can shoot raw images at 8.7 frames per second utilizing the mechanic shutter and 15 frames per second utilizing the electronic shutter. Now, those aren't really bad specs for a small micro four thirds camera. Now, The operative word here is small. Guys, this thing only weighs around 17 ounces, and that is with the battery installed. Now the camera will be priced at $699 for the body only. And if you spend $100 more, so $799, you're going to get a 14 to 42 millimeter, and that is a 3.5 to 5.6 lens. And all of this will be available later on this month. Now Olympus also has that new lens that is dust-proof and splash-proof, and it offers effective focal length of, get ready for this, 200 to 800 millimeters, giving Olympus shooters some incredible reach. This is even more impressive considering the lens weighs less than 2.5 pounds. Now it won't be available until September and will cost $1,499. Now if you're in the market for a new Olympus camera or lens, you can place your pre-orders using the links down below in the description. Next, to the surprise of no one, the Sony a7s III is facing some delays. Now, Sony a7s III was a hotly anticipated camera for a very long time, so when it finally dropped a little over a week ago, Sony shooters definitely rejoiced. But apparently Sony really underestimated how many people would want one of these cameras. A few days ago, Sony released a statement that they would have difficulty keeping up with demand and that people that have ordered should expect some delays. Originally, Sony said the a7s III would begin shipping in September, but with these delays, October is looking more like a realistic time frame. And I'm sure the difficulties with the pandemic presenting in terms of supply and delivery chains aren't exactly helping out either. Now, it's important to note that Sony's announcement came from their Japanese division, so it's kind of unclear whether these delays will impact deliveries in other countries. The photography world waited years for the a7s III to finally be officially announced, so I don't think anyone should be surprised that there will be yet another delay. And besides, what's a few weeks when you've been waiting a few years? Next, Nikon is offering a trade-in program for the Z5. Now, a couple weeks ago, we discussed the release of Nikon Z5, which is a budget-friendly, entry-level, full-frame mirrorless camera. Now, it was apparent when it was announced that the Z5 was aimed squarely at photographers that are currently shooting with a DSLR or shooting with a crop sensor camera. Now, the low price point really meant to encourage those folks to make that jump into the full-frame mirrorless camera. But Nikon has sweetened the pot with a trade-in program that makes the Z5 even more enticing. Now through September 27th, you can trade in any working camera and get $100 plus the value of your camera to put toward a Z5. This program isn't limited to trading in just Nikon cameras either. It can literally mean, guys, any working camera. Now you may recall Nikon did the same thing back when the Z6 and the Z7 were first released, so this isn't anything new. The difference is, of course, is that the Z5 is far less expensive than the Z6 and the Z7. So that $100 bonus plus the value of your camera will really make a huge dent in that Z5's price. Now if you're ready to jump ship to the Z5, head on over to the Nikon Trade Up webpage. And again, I'm going to put a link down below so you can see how much you can get for your current camera. Well, there you go, kind of quiet week here. And so that's going to close off the news for this week. And what an incredible last few days it has been. Not only was this recent outing a test run for the Turtleback trailer, the Jeep, and the Toro off-road tent for the upcoming photography, trek, and adventure series, this is my son's first time camping, and I wanted to make sure he had a good time and wanted to come camping in the future as well. And like anything else, when you come prepared, you're gonna have a much better time at it. And for those of you that know me, you know I love to cook. And don't get me wrong, when I'm out on my outings, an MRE just worked perfect for me. But I don't think my son is really going to, I don't think he's at MRE level yet. And what made it really awesome is while we were out there, I was cooking up a storm throughout the whole time out there. And on top of that, as you will see in some of the photos here, that place was really, really dusty. So from the knees down, my son's legs were completely just annihilated. They were just so dirty. He was kicking up dirt the whole time. So at the end of the day, being able to have that hot shower versus tossing him into a cold shower made a world of difference. He loved it out there. He was able to get cleaned up, which was great for when it came time to going to bed. He was going to bed at least all cleaned up. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I sure the heck enjoyed taking a warm shower out in the wilderness as well. That made a big difference. And on top of that, the camper, the tent itself, he loved it. He had a great time in there. But where the magic really came in, guys, was sitting down at the end of the night in front of the campfire, toasting marshmallows, something that when I was a kid, I remembered it was just gold, had so much fun. And so this was some very quality time between him and I. And speaking of the fire pit, I gotta give Rose Metal Products a shout out here and a big thanks. These guys built a custom fire ring for the Photography Trek and Adventure series that was just amazing. Loved it. It worked very well and it looks pretty awesome. Oh, there you go. Well, no, we can't end without talking about our current giveaway. So let's discuss our prizes for the current giveaway. We have a Peak Design carbon fiber tripod. We have a Peak Design travel backpack. We have a Peak Design everyday backpack zip and the $100 Adorama gift card. As always, guys, to enter the giveaway, it's really simple. Step 1, like this video and subscribe to our channel. Step 2, leave a comment below. In fact, the more of our videos that you watch and leave a comment on, the more chances that you have to win. So get watching some of our other videos and leave some comments. Step 3, register on PhotographyTalk and introduce yourself in the forum. If you did register on the site and introduce yourself during the last giveaway, you're still eligible to win at this time. But as I keep saying, swing on by and say hello. We'd love to see you. For complete details on the giveaway, including how to register on PhotographyTalk and how to say hello in the forum, check out the description below. Good luck. Well, there you go, guys. Photography Talk episode 36. If you found some value, if you found some entertainment with this video, you know, do all that YouTube stuff. Hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified each time that we come out with a video. And my friend, I'm going to see you next time. So you get out there, stay healthy, stay safe, and create your best shot.